More You Nerd is actually the second More You Nerd broadcast on air, but the first broadcast as a test of the Batcast, the Utility Belt podcast, the GD Batman podcast, the
No.
Hanging with the bat!
What are we going to call it, gentlemen? I don't know yet.
Can you see my comments?
Not yet. No, we can't.
Okay, 'cause
Oracle
I
in the background.
I can't see you.
Well, it might take a second, but we are, in fact, live.
Not 2 feet away from you.
Well, that's fantastic. Oh, so let's introduce ourselves. I am actually Drew from the More You Nerd and Obscure Reference podcast. This is what I look like.
Oh, there you are.
Amazing, I'm sure. Oh, yes.
Put it away, you're a married man, Drew. Ugh.
I am married to the Oracle back there who is just talking about, like, I can't see you, blah, blah, blah.
I'm like
Whatever.
the man behind the curtain.
The,
Like the powerful odds.
the woman behind the curtain,
Yeah.
the powerful
Go
eye.
with a Batman reference, Rebecca. Or Oracle.
Please, your Oracle. Please.
Sorry, I don't know what Oracle is.
Ah!
Hey, I have one. I'm like the people behind the owls. The owl masks.
No, because the Court of Owls will be trying to shut us down because we're talking about the Bat. The alter ego of Bruce Wayne, some who consider Bruce Wayne's actual persona, the Batman. We would be wearing domino masks, but we couldn't afford it, so we're counting on the people to give us enough ad revenue to do that.
Drew, you're doing, like, devil horns. You need bat ears.
Well, I'm doing bat ears. What do you think I'm doing?
Well, you're like, yeah, bat.
I can see Rebecca's comments, and they're not nice.
Oh, that's
What do you
sad.
mean they're not
That's sad.
nice? All I said was no, whatever.
You said you were bored.
That's because you weren't live yet.
Oh.
How are you actually seeing these, Myles? Because you're the only person that hasn't seen them. So I'm Drew, for the record, for those of you who have not, who are just tuning in, blah, blah, blah.
We've heard.
Introduce yourselves.
I am going to go ahead and introduce the person to my right, Myles.
Well, thank you, Patrick. That's who
You're
that
welcome.
is.
Myles. Good job, buddy.
Thanks. So
Wait a
we're
minute,
going
now you're on
to
this side. I don't understand. How did you...
For the record, most of us have been drinking Bat Tonic for the evening as we've been trying to figure all this stuff out. So
for the last 4 hours.
Yes. I'm on medication, too, so it's an excellent chaser. Those
I'm
I'm
saying
on.
a
And I
terrible
did,
example for anyone in our audience.
I did choose a bat-related glass. This is from the Green Lantern mythos, but is the Sinestro Corps.
Oh, yeah, Batman has been a member of the Sinestro Corps as forever briefly as he was. He was even a Yellow Lantern in the last Forever Evil book that just came out in the last couple of weeks.
Spoilers warning, Drew. Come on. What are we talking about here?
Look,
He was also a Green Lantern for about 8 seconds.
Look, Batman could easily be all of the lanterns. He's got the rage of the Red Lanterns. He's got the Green Lanterns. He inspires the will of the Yellow Lantern.
He's got the love for his city.
He's got the love of the pink, the Star Sapphires, I guess we can call it. The pink.
I don't think you can love. I don't think you can love a inanimate object.
He loves Dick Grayson and Tim Drake and Damian.
That's not the kind of love I really don't think that they're going for in the Star Sapphires. It's more like, yeah, love.
I don't think so.
So then you've got Vesper Fairchild. You've got Silver St. Cloud. You've got who else?
Oh, would you say? Are you trying to say that Batman has loved these women?
Batman has absolutely loved these women.
He fully admits to admitting to loving Talia.
Talia al Ghul, there's another one.
Because Damian asked Bruce in Batman and Robin number 4, I think, did you ever love my mother? And he said, for one shining moment, I believe I did. Because
look at the big bat brain on Miles. It's so exciting. It's like watching a supercomputer. Big Blue. He's like, I believe it was Batman.
I may have gotten the issue wrong, but I know they're in the Bat Jet.
You're looking up here like the answer is like right here.
Well, because they were in space.
Pretty sure. Yep. No, it was issue number 4. Right
But-
over here.
Damien asked him that question, and he says yes. You could argue at certain points in the 80s, maybe Vicky Vale.
Yeah, it's also true.
Yeah.
Andrea Beaumont, the Phantasm.
Well, this brings us to.
Andrea Beaumont is definitely animated series continuity, which may or may not count super heavily in the does Batman love. But I mean, if
he
you
asked her to marry him.
If you read the whole Son of the Demon arc that existed prior to when Damian was actually introduced, the old school arc where it actually demonstrates, it's kind of, I guess, considered an Elseworlds title now.
Until Grant Morrison came in and made it continuity.
Exactly. It's I mean, you definitely feel the love and passion between Bruce and Talia.
Absolutely, I think that was a very valid thing, and I hate the idea that like they kind of sort of reneged the whole thing by saying, well, Talia kind of roofied him.
No, so this brings up a good point. Batman in love. This is really our first topic. I like it.
It's true. I guess.
It's Batman as an unreliable narrator because he is like the ultimate liar. If you can find me in a Batman comic a thought bubble where Batman says she was the only woman I ever loved, or uses the word loved in relation to a woman, then I would agree with you.
Okay.
I will take that, but him saying that he loved someone, I don't think it's the same thing.
Before you go into yours, Miles, I am a fairly new. I still consider myself a Batman neophyte. And just today, I finished my goal of reading every issue of the Batman series. Not like Detective Comics, not Shadow of the Bat, not Batman Gotham Chronicles or whatever. It's just the Batman series. I've read every issue since year 1, which was 1987. So I have seen a lot of the Batman in the last several months. So Vesper Fairchild is one person that he comes very close to admitting that he loves. In addition to that, when you talk about Kevin Smith's The Widening Gyre and Cacophony, you talk about Silver St. Cloud, which he is willing to go fly her to a fantastic island getaway every day to fly back.
Do we count anything written by Kevin Smith?
It counted. It was in.
It's a miniseries. It's not necessarily continuity.
It is the last Batman series prior to the change to the New 52.
It actually, Widening Gyre came out after the New 52 switchover, which was weird because it was in that previous continuity. I mean, they referenced, things like Year One, and a lot of villains, obviously, from that universe. It wasn't, to my knowledge, non-canon.
You have to admit that there is a connection between Batman and different women. I mean, even if you look at the
connection, yes, obviously he's connected. I would say, Catwoman is number connection, but connection. He has a connection with the other members of the Justice League. It doesn't mean he has romantic love.
Okay. But Selena Kyle.
Love.
So Selena Kyle, the Catwoman, she in some continuities becomes the wife of the Batman and the mother to his children, and in some cases even Helena Wayne, aka Robin of Earth 2 in the current New 52 continuity. How do you respond to that?
And also in Grant Morrison's JLA, when the Key has them dreaming of their perfect worlds, a la the Black Mercy, he dreams of a world where he and Selena are married.
Yeah, no, I agree. Batman wishes he could live in one of these parallel worlds or in this dream world where he is able to, put down the cowl and do human things like love. But
and I feel like I
New
think
52, we do not live in that world.
But the New 52 doesn't count.
Even in the early New 52, if you look at Batman Incorporated, there are early issues of Batman Incorporated, and granted, I know these are sort of before the New 52, but Batman Inc. sort of transcends the New 52 because it was never sort of corrected out.
Except for Stephanie Brown.
There's really not a lot of Batman that was corrected out for New 52.
Except for Stephanie Brown.
There was and there wasn't. I mean, Stephanie Brown appeared in one Batman Inc. annual that appeared prior to but after the New 52.
It was written before but came out after, which is annoying.
Yeah. But even then, you have this whole couple of issues where Bruce Wayne is in Japan and Selena Kyle is also in Japan, totally rocking Bruce's world as they figure this out. That is a relationship that is only barely referenced in the New 52, aside from I think they totally did it on a rooftop
in Catwoman #1.
Catwoman issues that I haven't read.
Oh yes, the only reason that I purchased Catwoman. I really think that that's one of the reasons Batman is who he is he just he can't set aside any part of his brain for love. Like he can, camaraderie.
Well, I think that's why Catwoman's. I think that's why Catwoman's a great example, is because she represents that complete, how it messes with his radar per se, because she's a vigilante, she's also a thief. In the same way, he shouldn't be allied with her, but often finds himself allied with her. In the same way of his feelings for her, he shouldn't feel the way he does, but he still does. But he's at constant conflict. In the same way, he's also constant conflict with Catwoman.
And that's really what I love about the Batman Catwoman relationship. That there are so many stories that are told where they do know each other, they do know who each other is, or they don't know who each other is, and that's just, it's very powerful to me. Even Long Halloween, where we know exactly who Selena Kyle is, but we don't necessarily get the idea that Batman knows, or that Catwoman knows, or that Batman may know that she's the Catwoman, but the Catwoman does not know that he's the Batman, etc., etc., etc.
And see, that's what I miss about the old DC universe is Selena knew, and she never ever used that as leverage.
Well, she knows now.
Towards the end,
I don't think she does not know. I absolutely believe that Selena Kyle knows who Batman is now.
Well, I don't know, because she doesn't know who Richard Grayson is. Because she even looks at him and says, "Who's Richard Grayson?" If she knew Bruce was Batman, she would know who Richard Grayson was.
Yeah, but if they've done it on a rooftop, I feel like she has to know, right?
He kept his mask on.
Yeah, obviously that mask is what's keeping her from realizing who it is. But
he casts her in Forever Evil. In Forever Evil, she is still a member of the Justice League.
Canada or whatever it is.
She was the Justice League of America at this point, and I guess she's Justice League United now. Whoever knows what she's actually called. right now. But yeah, she's still that member of the Justice League that Batman is turning to in the middle of the Forever Evil event. That, I mean, he is technically the only member of the Justice League that we know is alive currently.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just going back to the whole love thing, I think it's on this hangout. I'm going to talk a lot about Superman, and that's, and at least before the 52, one of the reasons Superman could engage, I think, in getting married or being with Lois Lane is just how opposite those characters were and like how focused they were on different things. Superman needed, I think, Lois Lane, whereas Batman doesn't need to be with someone in order to do what he does. I think he can continue on without love, which is why he does it. Like,
well, no, but I think as you're also finding out is when he does that, he tends to disconnect himself in a way that he affects him as a person and affects him as a crime fighter, which you're actually really finding out in Scott Snyder's Batman as to what happens when Batman refuses any human contact and tries to go alone.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, and obviously
that's as true today in Scott Snyder's Batman as it was in the early 2000s when Batman refuses all help as Bruce Wayne has been accused of the murder of Vesper Fairchild. Which, by the way, I have, as of today, this is a fantastic event for the sake of Batman fans everywhere who also care about the more you nerd or obscure reference. I have finished my goal of reading every single Batman title issue. And I say Batman title issue meaning Batman and not Detective Comics or Shadow of the Bat or Gotham Knights or whatever else it was, which I've read plenty of as part of story arcs, but I've read every single issue of Batman from year one to today. That's a mission accomplished as of today.
Yay!
Now you can start reading Detective.
Yes.
Do you want to know what you won? What the you get to join Myles and I in the Super Bat fan club, and there is a prize.
As I am a part of.
What?
Myles, show him what he's won.
Quickly. This is an all-ages show. I can't really show him right now.
No, I do have a present for Drew and the Goblin King.
Oh, wait. You win.
It's
Robin
Batman.
Domo.
This is a Robin Domo?
Yeah.
That's pretty adorable, too.
Patrick, show what you're saying again.
And for Patty, this is your wedding gift. A Superman Domo.
I do like a Superman. I got a Target exclusive Batman.
That's awesome.
So, I will say that I am obviously a huge Batman fan. I still consider myself a Batman neophyte because I've only been trying to catch up with the Batman. Hang on, what?
Good night.
Oh, my wife, the Oracle, is going to bed.
Thanks for the backup.
We now have 0 viewers. We had 2 viewers. We literally had 2 viewers a second ago.
And then you bored them to death with your talk of Batman.
Unbelievable.
Alright, oh, crap.
That's a good name for the show. What about Bored by Batman?
Bored by Batman. Batboard. No one is ever. The Batcast. I do think the utility belt should be the.
Hey Drew, I hope you realize that you're going to have to get up in the morning to take out the recycling.
Yeah, I do realize that. Thank you very
I
much.
hope you effing realize that, Drew. That's reality, and I hope it is setting in to your bat-addled mind. Classic.
Classic. Oh.
So this show will not be ramblings as tonight has been. This is more of a test talk.
Yeah, in the real world, I would.
No. Let's not lie to the people. It's going to be very similar.
No, this is not obscure reference. This is Batman. This is different.
No, let's not get their expectations up. Drew, I do have suggested reading for you to continue on your bat studies.
Please continue, as I have completed the
How about the birthday present I gave you?
Save the annuals. Miles, you be quiet because it's on my list.
No, obviously, continue
I wish
reading
I had brought this up.
comics.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I think new rules. We should probably record this show when we're all more sober.
One of my favorite books about comic books, Super Gods. by
That's a
Grant Morrison.
fantastic book.
Oh, Grant Morrison is one of my favorite Batman writers.
He's
Ooh.
so good. He's so good.
The funny thing is, in the time frame that I have read Batman, which is from year one to today, there have only been two Batman writers that have absolutely collected what I want to read and have represented what I really want to read in a Batman title, and that has honestly been Grant Morrison and Scott Snyder. And I know
they're my number 1 and 2 as well.
Yeah.
that Scott Snyder is the current writer of Batman, and that's very easy to say, but it's easy to say because it's so great. I mean, the fact that even Mike of the Maury Nerd podcast could get into
Thank you for explaining who that was.
look, thank you for listening.
I've
The
I
fact
mean,
that
obviously,
even Mike could get into watching Batman and loving Batman and like stuff.
I was pretty surprised by that because I think the first Court Owls trade kind of starts a little slow if you're not already a Batman
Not
fan.
really.
I mean, I think there is a good deal of like exposition. I love it, like talking about Gotham and like the history of
But see,
Gotham.
Mike loved that. He loved that scene where he's like knocked out the window and like talked about the gargoyles and stuff. He really dug that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that issue 2 is awesome. But I like I said, I haven't met anyone that didn't already like Batman that had read that.
Well, as Mike said, he likes Batman. We've just ruined it for him.
Well, we talk about it way too much. That's really the honest thing.
No.
That's why we have a show.
He loves Batman, but he doesn't love Batman like he loved Batman. I mean, as a way of life. I mean, the simple fact is, for anybody who may be watching this that isn't a fan of the Maury Nerd or has never seen anything that we have done, I used to suffer from heavy allergies.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Oh, Miles, yes.
You know what?
Continue, Drew.
You know what?
No, keep going.
Joke about it all you want, but I'm
Oh, I will.
a huge allergy sufferer, but no more. I am no longer an allergy sufferer thanks to the bat.
Bad Allergies, the podcast. What,
Go on. No. Tell the good people why.
I have no reason to tell the good people why, because I follow the bat, and the bat is someone who strives to be stronger and has a higher willpower than all of, including the Green Lanterns, by the way. If any of the Green Lanterns are listening, they should have tried to give Bruce Wayne a friggin' ring, but they didn't.
They did.
Yeah, that's not true. But well, I would say he has a definitely
The
a
proof
higher
is
constitution.
in the pudding.
Yes, that doll is concrete.
But seriously, I know this, it sounds ridiculous. I know. I've heard that it sounds ridiculous from my closest friends for like the last 8 months.
That's us.
Oh no, I mean, you're talking about a actual physical scientific fact. There are Buddhist monks, which Bruce Wayne did study with, that are able to lower and raise their core body temperature
And their heart rate,
mind, their heart rate,
which Batman does a lot.
change a lot of physical things about them using only the power of meditation, which is basically mind power. Drew, you were using mind power to
You're absolutely
affect your
right.
body.
I am using mind power to overcome the allergies that I felt that I had. Since I have proclaimed myself the Batman, which I know I use air quotes to do, but I have started living by the bat, not letting myself get bogged down by...
Living by the bat.
Yeah, exactly. Not
Which
letting
you should get permanently on your skin.
by worldly displeasures. I put myself in the position of Bruce Wayne. If I had allergies, if I was allergic to cats or dust or pollen or whatever, would that stop me from doing the things that the bat does? And the short answer is no, it wouldn't. He would totally deal with it and be a hero as part of it.
That brings me to an interesting point, and we can do an entire episode, probably a couple hours on this topic alone. So we're just gonna get the tip of the iceberg here. What is Batman's superpower? If you had to sum it up in like one ability,
His
power
willpower.
that he has, his willpower. What does that mean? Expands or?
I mean, it means just that. Like his drive to do any and anything he sets his mind to, anything he wants to do. His willpower has overcome space and time. Thank you, Grant Morrison. I mean, basically, if he does not will something, it will not happen. I mean, he was hit by the Omega beams that is supposed to put him in the worst possible situation and transport him into prehistoric times. And through sheer will, he defied time and space and came back to present time.
Grit. We're talking about true grit or determination are things that are measures of one's willpower, and I would sum up the whole willpower aspect as he doesn't have the ability to give up or quit. He might make concessions or retreat, but everything he does is towards a goal of winning, of achieving.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Whereas I think that there's no other superhero in the DC universe that is on his level. I would say the obviously the Marvel mirror to Batman is Captain America, who also doesn't know the meaning of quit, and this does not stand for France as a.
They're such different characters, in my opinion, than.
Yeah, I mean, Captain America is often compared with Batman, but as far as his characteristics go, he has more in common with Superman.
See, I wouldn't agree with that. I would say
really, because he's a super idealist. He believes in people.
Yeah, I would say their attitudes, but not their core powers.
But not in the way that not in the very positive way that Clark does.
Yeah, but Clark's power isn't positivity.
Yes, it is.
His main power is whereas Batman has the will to win every fight he has. I think Superman has the power. Yeah, he has the ticket to do so, and I think Cap is more in line with Batman in that his determination, his willpower, is what win him fights, and that's when those two fought, Captain America and Batman. They realized that they were two forces that weren't going to relinquish. I think Batman realized that he was going to get beaten eventually, so they I don't have the comic in front of me, but they decided to just.
Are you talking about Marvel vs. DC #4?
I'm assuming
Probably, yeah.
the
They were basically fighting each other to a standstill and realized the fight was stupid. Is basically how it went down.
Yeah, they realized they were being played against each other, and they had this whole fight without even like exchanging a word, and realized what it was both going to get them, and that their true goal wasn't to beat one another.
Which I thought was kind of ridiculous because I know Steve's had training, but Batman's training is better. So I feel like in a fight like that, Batman would have won, but they were.
But in a fair fight, I mean, Steve is superpowered. I mean,
Yeah, but Batman has messed with superpowers before. I mean, he's runs around with Wonder Woman and Superman. He knows how to deal with that.
Well, that's true. I would like to say that to me as a
Right, but he's taking down Bane.
As a Batman neophyte, Batman is a person who is eclipsed by his own willpower. He is willing to put himself on the line for everything. And yes, he has everything figured out, and he has thought of every single option to every single event. He's prepared. He is ready. But at the end of the day, Batman is a person who is willing to put himself on the line for his preparations. And that is a big difference. If Batman is willing to die for something, that means that is the only solution that he has, because he has thought of all the other solutions.
Yeah, well, Batman has never died, so we've never seen that come to pass.
Exactly, Patrick. Exactly. Because he's the best.
Still, but
Yep.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. That was my absolute favorite line of the Dark Knight Rises, and it was in the trailer. And, you know, when Catwoman is saying, you know, you don't owe these people anything, you have nothing left to give. You've given them so much, and he's like, you know, I've not given them everything.
Yeah, no, I love that line too. Another favorite of mine is JLA number 4 by Grant Morrison. When the HyperClan's leader, I think they might have named him Hyperion, I can't remember. And Batman's the only person who hasn't been captured, and he's freaking out, and he's like, "It's just one man." And Superman turns to him and said, "Yes, only the most dangerous man in the world." And when the most powerful being on the planet calls you the most dangerous man in the world, you know that means something.
Yeah, no, obviously that's why Grant Morrison is up there. I think he's actually my favorite Batman writer. I think he edges out Scott Snyder right now. Just
I agree with you. Not by much, but I do. I think Scott Snyder or Grant Morrison just barely.
You still haven't read
And the thing is, they're both sensational writers. Like, they're at a level to where even if one inches over the other one, you're still reading amazing books no matter what.
The Black Glove is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Leading to the.
Drew, you need to read Grant Morrison's JLA, especially the first 12 issues.
It's on my list. It is absolutely on my list.
The same issue, I think it's JLA number 4, has one of my favorite Batman moments, and it's when he takes down the rest of the HyperClan. It's a really quiet moment where he figures out that they're who they are, and it's just, I think Patrick knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's obviously my favorite Batman moment.
It's one of my favorite Batman moments of all time, and it's so badass.
Well, gentlemen, I hate to cut it off, but it's 11 o'clock on a Thursday night.
Somebody's got to take out some recyclables in the morning.
I do have to take out the recycling in the morning. Yes, we all know that if we've listened to this, because my wife yelled at me to do it before she went to bed.
You better tweet some empty bins.
Anyway, good night, everybody. Bat out. However we decide to do this.
Bat out. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Deuces and good.